This lesson is going to be for kindergarten. This is Kindergarten Math Measurement and Data, and it's standard K.MD.1. It's focusing on measurement and data, and for this lesson, we're going to focus on measurement for kindergarten. Purpose of this activity is going to be to teach students how to identify lengths of different items, various items. This is going to be in inches for this lesson, but in this lesson, we're going to not focus on inches as much as using blocks to show how long something is. In this lesson, students are going to go into formative on their tablets. When they get to formative, they will open up this lesson. It's entitled Kindergarten Math, Measurement, and Data, K.MD.1. The directions are to read the questions and respond. And this is what students will see when they get to number 1. The first question will ask, how many red squares show the length of the paddle? Show your work by filling in the blocks. So number 1 is correlated to number 1 right here. And then this is our show your work. So what they'll do is after they read the question or they listen to the question, because I will also have it set up where I will be reading each question. After they do that, they'll see type response and they'll see show your work. So they'll click on show your work. Here, they will see number 1, how many red squares. So I have put in red squares, show the length of the paddle. Show your work by filling in the blocks. So they can zoom in. They will click on this, any of these squares, and then they can begin to fill in. So we can see that this box is 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares, 4 squares, 5 squares, 6 squares, and 7 squares. So then the students will see, okay, this is the end of my block or the end of my paddle, and I can count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So then they'll go into here, they'll type 7 or 7 squares. Oops. Or 7 red squares. Any of those will be accepted. They have the options to do an audio answer instead or an image, but in this case, they can just do 7 red squares, hit done, and then they can move on to number 2. Number 2, and notice how this picture does not move, just the questions. Number 2 says, how many purple squares show the length of the caterpillar? Show your work by filling in the blocks. So do the same thing. They'll go to the purple squares this time. Woo. We'll click on this one. And then they begin to fill in. They go 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares, 4. Oh no, my 4 square is too far. So then I can go to the little eraser tool, erase the 1, and I can say, oh, that was so much easier because there's only 1, 2, 3 squares. So then we can go over here, 3 or 3 purple squares, or just 3 squares. As the teacher, any of these answers will be accepted as I made the answers for all of these match what the students could possibly say. And they'll continue to do this all the way through the lesson, and they'll learn that these are going to be the length of the item. And just because we're focusing on just the measurement of as in length, we're not focusing on inches right now. any of that they might learn later, or if I have students who are higher in the lesson than other students, then I can start to explain to them inches already, and so on and so forth.